Mic check. Check one. Check one.
We can always hear you.
Mic check. Check one. Morning. Still morning? Awesome.
Before we ask you how many passes the tight ends are going to catch this year, just wondering your thoughts on the defense. What do you think about it so far?
Again, really competitive. Got a lot of depth, a lot of good guys coming back, playing a lot of numbers. I think they're still growing within their package, but throwing a lot and look like they're handling it. And so it's it's been very, very competitive, very physical in practice. And I think, quite honestly, you're kind of going against them and them against us, but I kind of feel like the leadership and the culture that was kind of built through the summer of Coach Mick and the way we cross-pollinated the team, it's not like we're fighting against each other. We're just competing like heck to get better. And sometimes you got me, and next play maybe I'm getting you. So there's been a lot of back and forth. And it's been as competitive, tough, consistent, back and forth banter as kind of like maybe that first year we had some of those guys up front kind of getting after it. It's been really good. It's been fun. It's been challenging.
What can you share, if anything, about the scrimmage?
Who? We snapped the ball and blocked sometimes, missed, and they made some tackles, and we scored once or twice. Had a field goal hit the upright one time, I think. It was good. It was good. Again, I thought as some drives, sometimes in practice we rotate in maybe racks or threes of four, and I think we had some drives on both, especially offensive, where we got to maybe play 7 or 8, and maybe didn't execute or play with the pad level or the execution as you got into a third down or score zone situation. So today in practice, we extended, instead of just 4 plays and you're out, let's go 8 or 9 or 10 plays in a row, just to kind of get some of that as the drive goes on both sides of the ball, how to hang in there, how to communicate, how to compete. So thought it was good, but got a little sloppy as drives went, slopping in. Few turnovers. Defense created several good turnovers, which was good for them, not good for us. Got to run it better. Wasn't our best running day. We need to run a little bit better as we go.
Everyone assumes this offense is going to pick up last year's great offense. It doesn't look that way. What do you think is the state of the offense right now? What are your concerns, if any?
What you just said. Assume, because I was told what that meant a long time ago, as you divided into some letters. And if we again get a little too big for your britches in this day and age, in my time in my life, it seemed like every time that I or our group got a little too big for its britches, we got it. I had a saying a long time ago. Started, as soon as you think you got it, you're getting ready to get it. And it's always a fight to stay on point, to stay focused, to keep evolving, to sharpen your skills. As good as you may be, we all have deficiencies. So we've been really hard. I think our players have picked up some of the ownership and leadership of what we're trying to do, and it's not coming from the coach all the time. So, we're trying to stay humble and grounded, because you're only as good as we can block it, and those supporting guys can make it look good. So, but in blocking is everyone. You got tight ends and receivers involved with the running game, whether it be in a run play where they're blocking someone, or RPO. You got quarterbacks making decisions. So when that run game's going, it's 11. In the pass game, you got to pick up blitzes and firm up pockets, and CJ can deliver it. We got some great guys can get open, but it's a total team deal. So right now, when you start back over, because you go through the winter workouts individually, a little bit of spring, summer's back to a lot of group, but individual, now's where the offense comes together. And to be a great offense, you come together. To be a great offense at the end of the year, you show what you've done, and it's not stats. There's big rings and there's big trophies that great offenses have. Statistical offenses can have those numbers, which show that statistically you didn't win the games you needed to win. So it's about winning those games. So if we're going to be a great offense, we'll find a way to take care of the ball, take care of the quarterback, get in the end zone, and win games, all of them. That's what great offenses do.
Kevin, was there anything on Saturday that you felt was a surprise? Some of the guys, I know we minimized a little work for some of the top guys. It was good to see, we got a little bit more work there for Julian, Mecca, Marvin. Even though you're expecting them, they still have been the second guys now that won. So they got a little bit more action than maybe Jackson, who's kind of proven himself. Same at running back. Dallin popped a couple really good runs, which is good to see. Showed some really good speed. Had a couple big ones, which was nice for him. He's got, he's learning, freshman, a little bit overwhelmed, but he's got some speed and explosive. So that was a nice deal. But scrimmage 1, practice 1, we're just a little inconsistent as an offense, and just got to be better there. When we were here on Thursday,
today, we saw Cade a little bit more involved down the field. And at the risk of talking too much about tight end targets to you, what is it about his skill set that might allow you to do that a little bit?
We're running the same plays. To me, it's like, you command the ball. So if you get open, and you show in practice, you get open, then coach is going to put you number 1 or number 2 in the progression. Years ago, I remember Sean Payton telling me he was at the Giants, and I think he said when he had Monte Toomer was 1 and Shockey was 2 and Tiki Barber was 3, he goes, I can be in 22 personnel. If those guys are in the progression 1, 2, and 3, something good's going to happen. So does the tight end play well enough to merit being 1 or 2 in the possession, or is he 4 or 5? Because typically in college protections break down, you're not getting to the 4th and 5th guy a lot. So one is just how you practice. And of course, he's got good ball skills, good basketball player. Again, he's made some plays down the field. Quite honestly, he needs to be better down the field. But he's also been very good underneath. Had a great play the other day. He ran right through a couple of defenders like a bowling ball and smashed them up. And he's 257. He's playing really good. Was voted captain, one of the best leaders on our team. Had a championship performance in scrimmage. Very, very physical. He's gonna have a great year. I mean, he's pretty good player now. I've seen a couple. He's pretty good now.
How deserving is he for that captaincy?
That's the kids because the kids voted on it. But he's here every day, goes hard every day. His body holds up every day. His mind holds up every day. His gas, his give-up holds up every day. He's into it now. He cares. He's really good. So I think he's going to play well. I think leadership is best coupled with performance. And I think the way he consistently practices, and I think the way he consistently plays, he's going to perform well. And then verbally and action, he does so many things right that you want a leader to do. So, it's not phony. He got it. It's not trying to build somebody up. He's one of the dudes of our team.
Who's a player or two that really come out this preseason that you think is going to be in the mix? From your vantage point, that maybe it's a little bit surprising. Maybe is Evan Pryor pick that nose?
Yeah. But again, you still got, with Mayan and Travion, it's like, and then, opportunities and touches. And same thing. I think Cade's going to have a chance to get the ball, but, you still got Jackson sitting out there that's going to get open, and Marvin's got his own way to show he's going to be a solid. And Mecca's probably been as pleasing and consistent as any of those guys, practicing hard and making some just really strong, impressive plays with and without the ball. So you got Julian, there's just a lot of guys. So bottom line, it's just, the guys that just, we're at a point right now of camp where you don't practice, but you continue right now to build your culture and really get good at something. Just don't show up and have a practice and say it's 2-a-days and it's hard. Everybody's in 2-a-days or preseason practice and walkthroughs. It's hard. Okay, but who's getting better? Who's honing their craft? Who's building the culture of the offense and what you're trying to be? And to me, we got a lot of good players. I don't know if there's going to be a bunch of surprises because you guys know all the guys that are good. There's a lot of second-year guys that are starting to fringe on being what you think they should be. And it'll be interesting as they practice here the next 1, 2, 4, 5, 6 weeks. Do they become that consistent player that you expect and that we need and we're looking for as coaches and as a team?
Go ahead. You mentioned the run game could have been better on Saturday. So who's a guy that Hey Jones caught your eye?
About 12 of them. Yeah. I always laugh when Mike Hall goes out there as a 3. I'm like, come on, dude. Jeez, that's as good a 3 as I ever saw in my life. He ain't no 3. We got some, they're deep and they just keep coming at you waves, and it's just, they just keep coming over the walls. And it's just, playing with some confidence and playing behind their pads. And it's really, in my first year here, you just felt like Taekwon and Sam and Chase, and you just felt those guys. And I don't know if there's anyone individually that's collectively as good as a couple of superstars, but you just feel the defensive presence. And I think Tommy and Steele and Cody are starting to play a lot of confidence. Now, I think the secondary guys are starting to understand those fits, and they're so much more quicker in the hole. And I just think you feel a very early, confident defensive bunch. It's a long way to go. I'm sure the coach would tell you that, but man, it's just, it's out there. It's a daggum fist fight.
Kevin, you've here at Ohio State, offensive coordinator and tight ends coach, making good money, making over $1 million. Your son's on the team. That's got to be fun. I'm just curious. Are you content to do it? Let's say this was your job till as long as you wanted to do it. Is this?
No, matter of fact, I mean, like I've never been a guy wherever it was looking for the next job. It was do your job, do the job you best you could. I had a guy, of course, I think I was like, I don't think working long makes you a better guy, but I enjoy practice. You know, I enjoy the meetings. I enjoy the preparation. Like the other day, I think someone was talking about, you know, the problem. I enjoy, like, I think it was Coach Saban had a guest speaker to me. I mean, I enjoy preseason practice. I like inside drill. I like Tuesdays. I like Wednesdays. And somebody said, hey, when are you going to retire? And I said, I'm going to retire the first day I'm working. Because the first day this is work. I ain't working. I'm coming out having fun, teaching kids how to play the game, helping kids grow. Love to be a head coach again, but I'm not fighting to do. I'm fighting to do the best job I can here because we're working to get on that wall. And so whatever we need to do to get on that wall. And I've had a chance with a lot of great offenses and great teams. I played net 5 times. I've been in that game. I'm still looking for that ring. 5 times. 6 if you count the playoff game we lost a couple years ago. And so I've been there knocking on that door. I want to help a group of kids I think that's good enough to knock the damn thing down. And we ain't there yet. But there's a group of guys, the way this team's coming, it can be that type of team. And that's not hopeful talk, and that's not Buckeye tradition talk. That's looking at grown kids playing the game right, and you're trying to impact their guys. So I just trust the good Lord. Are you where you're supposed to be? Coaching the kids you're supposed to coach. Family's kind of almost raised. Used to be where you're raising your kids. I got my son on the team. That's neat. It's cool. I really didn't want him to come here. I wanted him to do what's best for him. That's been good for him. But right now, my thing is to do everything I can to give Coach Day what he wants, to help this offense and these kids have a chance to chase greatness because we had a chance to go for it. Yeah, I think right now, like the 2 best guys we got, different roles and jobs, is where Cade and Mitch Rossi are. They're our 2 most consistent, strongest guys. Then you got G and Joe figuring out that next niche and how good are you without the ball and blocking, and what's the blocking matchups, and then what's the route running. And you know they've been there's a little you see it, and then a little inconsistency as they're growing. So I think both those guys are kind of jabbing back and forth, and then behind that you go Sam and Bennett. Sam's starting to come on, which is encouraging. I really like Bennett, but the first 2 right now, I think we got getting close to game ready. Cade and Mitch. We got to see how much we can get out of Joe and G as we start game 1, game 3, game 5 as we move where those guys get to.
Mitch had previously kind of been really in that fullback niche. Do you see him as someone who can be a second tight end, both in line or split out?
But you got to play to certain skill sets or traits. Not that he does certain things all the time. Who's the matchup? Where is he in the formula, the equation? Where do you piece him out? All that deal. So he with special teams and what we'll do. And Mitch is much more valuable than I think people realize. He is a solid component of what we do. I mean, we've got with those receivers, maybe 11, 12, 13, 14 other. He's one of our 14, 15 best players on offense. He finds a way to get. He'll be on the field to some degree, and we'll have a decent spot there for us.
Is there something Cade is doing in camp more consistently than he was in the spring?
I think the more he's played, I think he's running his routes faster. We're talking about route running a minute ago, where he's covering more ground. I mean, not playing, just running with stride length and not taking little choppy steps and running up on people, running by people, strong enough to work edges and run through people. In the block game, we're getting him slow. They had a couple great ones today, from being I want to muscle you blocker to, by the way, I can run. Let's bring that momentum and feet and really roll off the ball and really get the push and the movement you want him. He's 256, 57, 58 pounds. He plays. You look at our GPS, he'll be the fastest tight end on the field a lot of days and the biggest. So you put that combination together. Maybe he's going to get open. I think he can play physical with the ball. He's on track to have a really strong year. He's going to be an impressive player.
What does the GPS show? What do you say the GPS
Just they show how many yards. Like typically, like last year, we'd have like in a practice a year ago on a Tuesday hard practice, you'd have Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson would push around 6,600 to 7,100 yards. Ruck would be at about 58, 59 third highs. And then you look at your speed. Are you going 11 miles an hour or 17 miles an hour or 19 miles an hour? And then you even look at the distance zone. So when we track the volume, how fast you're running and how much you're running at a high click, he's running at a high click. So it's just, and that's when you're doing teamwork. It's one thing to go out there with Coach Mick's running around bags, and the guy has it and it says he runs 20 miles an hour. Okay, put people out there, and now you're thinking. And also there's a thing called confidence and courage. As there's people in the way, now run 20 miles an hour. And there's another dude standing right there too. Oh no, I start hesitating. I'm waiting. And so he's playing fast. He's a very mature guy. And not that he's just going to blow by you and you guys say, well, look, he's running 4.5. No, he's just playing fast, playing physical. He's a big athlete. That's why you guys thought he should play defense. He's a big athlete, man. I don't know. Can't tell you. I mean, they'll get 17, 18 on a pad today, which is pretty good for those guys.
You guys have a 3rd and 1 against Notre Dame that you need to pick up. What do you think of the ability of this offense right now?
Not what it needs to be. Not what it needs to be based on what I saw Saturday. Because they needed to be better Saturday in structure, what we're calling scheming, and that pad level and execution and demeanor and attitude. So, we had that was a couple glitches Saturday that needed to be and sometimes maybe just say the structure that wasn't I put us maybe not in a good play call. Maybe sometimes somebody just got his tail kicked on that play. Like for example, when we're sitting here, like we do all, you guys see us in warm-ups out here, and we do those blocking drills starting first period. When it's 3rd and 1, you're playing as high as this table. When I'm out there in the drills, like we're blocking like this. 3rd and 1, it's about that high, and there's a bunch of violence going on. So it's a different pad level. It's the same play, but now you're on the goal line. It's some type of power or zone or whatever. We all kind of run the same variations of the same plays that are north-south plays. Maybe you have a little trick them trying to get it outside once in a while, but how are you going north and south? Well, it's also, there's a scheme involved, but there's a demeanor of when the referee comes out. I did tell my guys, hey, the referee comes out and says, we got this much. Okay, how's that D-line playing that play? Versus 3rd and 15. How's that D-line playing? You're on the 1-yard line coming out. They're trying to get a safety. How are they playing? So it's not just the plays as we practice, but you get into situations. So the other day in that situation, play call can be better, execution can be better, but also the demeanor of what we're trying to get accomplished here. Man, this is tough. 4-minute offense to win those championships. We're going to have to close out some games, and everybody knows we're running it. I know Coach will have a safe pass or something to keep them honest, but we got to run it and get the first down. And that's what those great offenses that we talked about earlier are going to do or not do. That's what we'll see if we're a good offense or not.
When you have Travion and Mayan or different style backs, maybe could you go with a guy like Mayan in those situations who's maybe a little lower the ground or whatever? Or do you want, if Travion's your starter, do you want your starting running back on the field on 3rd and 1?
Yeah, I think that's not been discussed verbatim as much as I think we kind of trust them both just running the offense, and whoever's there right now in practice, we're just kind of writing versus we're catering, hey, this for you because of a pass play of protection or a specific run. We're counting on, we think those two guys are really good with Evan and Dallin with them. So right now they're, if we question or want a little bit more load in the backfield, you would go with Mayan, but we right now we do know Traven's a good runner, so we're not trying to be good to him. We just think Doug, he's just him.
They both can do it all. It's not situational. It's just you're going to play
as of now, and that could change as we continue to look at what we are or are not, or he is or is not. Right now, we wouldn't say no. You're the short yardage back. That has never been said.
When you talk about the tight ends who are the most ready right now, if you're trying to do that, is that Cade and Mitch in the game in a situation like that? If you're going with 2 tight ends,
Right, that would have a chance to be our guys right now, or in potentially in time, like we did last year, maybe it's a big old lineman. Who knows? Or we keep bringing Joe, G, Bennett, and see where those guys get to with Sam. But right now, we're in a spread set, and if we're going to our bigger guys, it's those 2 guys right now.
And how are they in those situations, Cade and Mitch?
They're 2 of our best, and they're as good as we've been. I mean, they're pretty good. I mean, I got a lot of confidence in those guys, and they have a lot of confidence in themselves. They're good. I think in the off season, not just preseason, I think, he wanted to not just have a personal, really good year, but wanted to be a championship quarterback, wanted to play for it all, And I know there's some individual stat things he's up for always that sounds good, but I think he's gotten more into the team element. I think he tried really, really hard to be a great team player in the offseason. Now he's been captain or voted that way. I think that exponentially grows, but I think he was like that back in spring. I think he knew he was the quarterback. I think he knew he had a chance to play well. I think he knew he had great supporting cast. I think he knew Coach Day was going to doctor it up and that passing game is going to work. But I think he knew no matter what happened last year, it still wasn't the championship that all great quarterbacks want. I think he's done everything he can prior to even being named captain to be a team leader and be a little bit more vocal with telling guys that wasn't good enough and doing it where it's not coming. He's been probably more outspoken than any player the last couple of years, just encouraging or also demanding that he expects someone to do better. It's been great to see.
Even at media days, I noticed just his confidence and the difference from this year to last year. How have you maybe noticed that his confidence or his leadership, those intangibles, maybe you see it on the field, those intangibles?
Yeah, I mean, this time last year, you've yet to really play, and you don't know. So I know he's trying to figure him out and all that. But as he come through having a great year, I mean, he's past that. So I think now he's well into working on his weaknesses and strengths as a player, but also becoming, like you say, the great quarterback is the guy that's leading everyone. It just kind of comes, and you don't have to say a lot. Maybe it's just with the way you're preparing, the way you're working, the way you're taking care of the body, the way you're living your life outside the building, because everybody knows what he's doing. The team knows. So whether it be verbally, things he's saying, or just the way he's carrying and leading his life, he's a talented player. He's a great kid. He's a hell of a good leader for us. I think Stover, I think Tommy Eichenberg is. That leadership of those six captains those are strong players. And those are great men.
Kevin, I know you guys have all balanced. You want to throw it and run it, but this passing game is so prolific, right? We know that there's such skill here. Does it ever? I don't know if the word difficult is right, but when reinforcing, we've got to run it on 3rd and 1. We've got to be able to get it when they know we're going to run it. Is that any more of a challenge in a world where you're so good at throwing it, but then you've got to remind everybody we got to buckle down and get this when we need it in the run game?
Yeah, I think most people sometimes have to run it because they can't throw. Some people throw it a lot, don't want to run it. The great teams in college football get to where they can do both. And I think because we're just talking CJ a minute ago, I think he knows he's playing good enough. He don't have to prove he can throw and make shots. That to be the team we need to be able to make those tough plays and those physical plays, whether it be 4-minute, coming out, goal line, and whether it be run or heavy play action, whatever it is. But we cannot be a team that can only play with the right hand. To be the team we want to be, we got to play with both hands. And that means we're committed to running the ball. And running the football is scheme. Running the football is fundamentals. But running the football is a mindset. And as well as we throw the football, which we all know has a chance to be extremely good because of Coach Day, the skill, the quarterback, yes, it's got a chance to be really good. But to be the great team, we're trying our darndest to sell our offense on the attitude of balance is greatness. And balance is not 50-50, but you can get behind your pads and get a 3rd and 1. So that means you have to practice that way. You can't practice just passing all the time and all of a sudden expect to get 3rd and 1. Hey, just play lower now. No, you have to practice. Like I said the other day, those plays are about as high as this table. And you have to learn in this world, we say stay off the ground, now to get down low and knock somebody back to get a tough yard, to get a 4th and 1, to get a 4-minute offensive deal. And that's a mindset. And championship teams have the great mindset. So it's tough because as good as our skill. I think, though, our skill's good enough now, and it was so good last year, knows it doesn't matter if we don't have that balance. And I think there's a little bit of humbleness. Their skill knows, yeah, we can rely on that one. We can rely on that three-point shot over and over and over. But if we can't play defense, can't rebound basketball, if we can't play offensive running football, we're not going to be the championship team that we're yearning to be and expected to be. And I think that's why we're working that way.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
We're going to put Joe Royer here in a second. Hey, Coach, I still need you for 2 more things.
Folks, we got Joe Royer in the middle. Hey, Coach, I need you to. Yeah, Brian.
How you guys doing? Doing well. What's going on?
What do you think is taking the biggest step this fall? Not just the spring and summer, but just the last 14 days or so.
A big thing for me this preseason was kind of getting in there, being a consistent blocker, getting my body to be able to get to the point where it's able to hold up and withstand contact after contact. Because, to be successful here, we need to use our tight end in the run game, and I just can't be out catching passes and receiving, so I got to be able to do that job as well. So definitely blocking.
Seems like people put you on the same track that Jeremy Ruckert was on, coming from high school, kind of wide receiver to becoming a tight end. You feel like you're starting to make that officially kind of become a true tight end?
Yeah, definitely with Jeremy here, my first 2 years, he kind of talked to me about how he was kind of on the same track as me, and we were kind of the same build coming out of high school, and we all saw the player he turned out to be. But yeah, he helped me a lot with that, and yeah, I feel myself getting stronger physically, being able to kind of move guys off the line and become a true tight end like he ended up being.
What are your thoughts on the depth in the tight end room? It seems like pretty good depth with Cade and yourself and G and Mitch. Right? Bennett's in the mix and Sam. Just seems like it's pretty good depth.
Yeah, I think we have a really diverse group, which makes us good. We have a bunch of guys who are good at different things, and when you kind of put us all together, we kind of have everything. But we can't really rely on just one guy being able to do one thing, because defenses could catch on to that. Like if Cade's just in there and he's just only blocking or something, they'll figure out he's only blocking. If I go in, they'll be like, oh, he's just receiving. So Coach Wilson and offense is doing a good job of making us being able to do everything. But yeah, we have really good depth.
What makes Cade Stover worthy of being captain? Just because your experiences with his leadership in the locker room.
I'm really close with Cade. He's a good friend of mine. I'm rooming with him in camp right now, actually, and he's just a high energy guy. He brings it day in and day out. You never really see him just kind of like, here we go again, stuff like that. He's always bringing energy, lifting guys up. He goes hard every single play. He has all the respect. He's always an Iron Buckeye through off season with Coach Mick, and he's just a dude who works hard, and everybody sees that and respects him.
Is he still selling meat? I meant to ask him that. He was selling.
Yeah.
Jeremy Ruckert was saying after he gets drafted, he wanted to buy half a cow worth of meat.
Yeah,
Stover Farms.
I'm sure. Yeah, his family's still selling meat. I haven't really talked to him much about it, but yeah, I'm sure they're still doing that.
Trying to get to that tight end like you and Dave and maybe Sam and Bennett more traditional builds. How hard is it to just find a consistent role in work?
Through kind of preseason, we really haven't had consistent roles. We're all just trying to get plays, really, keep developing, doing all kinds of different jobs. So right now we're not really thinking too much of kind of what the depth is or game plan or like who's going to be playing or not when the season starts. We're just all trying to get our plays in, keep developing, and get better at each and every job.
When you come to Ohio State, you kind of know what the tight end role is.
Yep.
But to actually be in it now for a few years and truly accept how the tight ends are used here, has that been a difficult thing for you to do, or do you just kind of put your head down and keep going?
No, I mean, coming out of high school, I was an X receiver, caught a lot of balls, and I kind of knew what I was coming into when I was being recruited and eventually committed here. I'd see it on game day, and Coach Wilson and the coaches would let me know, like, hey, if you got to be able to block. So I already knew that coming in, and it was hard at first just because I was little, so I couldn't really do it as well. But now since I've gained weight, gotten stronger, it's been better. And, I don't mind blocking. Still got to get better at it, but it's just fun getting out there on the field.
You just talked about how much you had to gain all of this weight. Have you had to be on a similar track, or do you kind of gain your weight a little bit naturally?
It took me a while to gain weight. My metabolism's super fast. It's kind of slowed down a little bit, but right now I feel good at my weight, and I reached my goal weight that kind of Coach Nick and the coaches wanted me to play at. So right now I'm feeling well. But yeah, it took me. I'm going in my 3rd year, and I'm just now kind of finally getting there with my weight. So yeah, it took me a couple of years to gain weight. Yeah, and I've hit it before, but then I kind of dropped back down a little bit. But now I was just kind of living there, and I just wake up every day and kind of be at that weight. And they'll obviously, if I can gain more weight, they'll want me to do that. But right now, yeah, I'm feeling real well. It was 245, but kind of the lowest I ever was here one time was around 225. So I've gained about 20 pounds. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I was getting tossed, snagged around when I first got here. Now I kind of got more legs behind me, can kind of create some contact and movement.
Joe, have any guys try to make bets with you about your hair or score gets another day and they get to cut it?
No, not really. They all kind of know it's kind of my thing. They all like it. The only person that's kind of said something was just kind of heat of the moment thing. Zach Herbstreit was like, "I'll give you $250 right now if you shave it." I didn't, obviously, but yeah, that's the only thing that's all I got.
Sounds like an NIL.
I don't really know, honestly. I'm a big fan. I mean, it's just hair. My hair grows back really fast, so I'm not too worried. Maybe if I get a good price up there, I'll probably end up doing it. But right now, I'm hanging on to it. I don't like to get it too big. It's kind of good length right now. When I start really growing out, it starts to like dread up in the back. I'm not really a fan of that, so I just kind of like to keep it kind of what it is now. But yeah, it's kind of my trademark thing. So. Yeah, his dad actually cut his dad's his barber, and he's been having that haircut since he was a kid. So that's his thing as well. I got my thing, and we both like it.
Wrap it up with the tight ends, folks. Stuff like that. We talked a lot about weight. What is it to meet that weight to get bigger, smaller, depending on what football is necessary?
Yeah, it's really important because kind of mentioned it earlier. You got to be able to block here, and you can be really strong and still kind of light, but the more weight you have, the more kind of momentum, and like force you can make coming off the ball. So like there's really strong guys who are lighter in weight, but they can't really make too much movement because they're just like strong through here. But then there's heavier guys who maybe aren't as strong like his bench or something like that, but they can kind of create more movement just because they weigh more. So yeah, weighing more definitely helps and is important.
Is that first meeting of, hey, we want you to move up from this weight to this weight, move down from this weight to this weight? Does that give you any indicator on whether you want to be tight end or?
Not really. No, they just kind of look at it at each guy and what they think he'll play best at. Because throughout years here, we have really good sports science teams, and they'll see like how we move, how fast we're running, how much we're lifting at a certain weight, and like compared to other weights, and they'll try to decide which weight they think will suit us best. So they just kind of go off each guy. Yeah, obviously kind of meant a lot to me. CJ Stroud, a really talented guy, Heisman guy. For him to say that, it kind of opened my eyes, and I was like, yeah, I guess I am doing pretty well. And I don't mind really being underlooked. It was just spring ball. It's not really like it was a season or anything. But yeah, it definitely motivated me, and I wanted to just kind of stay on that track and hopefully show all you guys and the fans during when the season would come.
Thanks, Joe.
Appreciate you guys.